feet on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in.
Right, hello, ladies and gents. It is so good to see you here again today on the Coffee Shop Show. I am Nestene.
I'm still Peter.
And we are the co-founders of Explore ProTech Entrepreneurial Haven. Every week, once a week, we create an hour where entrepreneurs around the world can come together, connect, grab some virtual coffee and talk about things that actually affect us entrepreneurs. So we're not talking at you, we're not lecturing at you, we're not telling you like a million things that won't work in real life. We're just sharing our journeys and giving you a glimpse into what goes on when you're doing the real life entrepreneur thing. So I, for one, enjoy these sessions. I'm really excited to be here with my friends from all around the world again today. I get a warm, fuzzy feeling every time I see our Coffee Shop Conversations intro video, because it just reminds me how special it is to have met these amazing human beings and that we're actually sharing our journey. And for those of you that don't know, we're on our way to climb. Well, first of all, we need to find our 500 family members, and then what we want to do is we want to see if we all 500 of us can get onto the Forbes 500 list. So this is our journey, and you're getting to watch us do this thing. Also, if you think you might be one of our 500, remember we're looking for the 500 most fun, authentic, caring entrepreneurs from around the world. If you think you're one of us, the booking link is in the description of the show. Literally just click on it, book a coffee, find out more. We'll let you date the tribe and do all the fun things that we do to figure out if we are your people. But if you think this might be for you, then let's find out, because we're still looking for our 500. We found a lot of them though, and it makes me so happy to see them every week. So welcome to the show, guys. It's so good to see you here. And Hendrik is laughing at me because I'm getting my tongue twisted.
Well, that's because you were recording so many videos earlier.
Oh, guys, I have literally recorded 8 modules of video today. Like, I feel like a freaking voiceover artist, and I'm not one. Thank you. Also, how do you guys like my crochet work? Okay, I think this is amazing. I just have to say. Anyway, so we're here today. We're talking about what are we talking about, Peter?
Good question. I know it's got networking in there somewhere.
We're talking about the most effective networking strategies. So, how to stop wasting your time going to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, collecting business cards and
still getting nothing.
Yeah. So how to stop doing that, because I know it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, a lot of entrepreneurs have this kind of A-type personality type, right? Where it's like, I'm such a culprit. Like, I focus on the stuff that's going to make me money. Like, you know, if I do this, how much am I going to get paid? Or I know I'm doing it just because I love like the people and I'm trying to save the world, but there's a reason why I do things. But just going to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, I can go on like it literally, like it never stops. And we know as entrepreneurs that we need to network. Like you can't get away from it. You can't not network. Like that's not an option. But so today is how do we make those networking hours that we put in count?
Yeah.
How do we make them count? How do we make it worth it? How do we make sure that we actually get something out of this whole networking scenario?
No, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I go to a networking event and everybody just hands me a business card, I end up using those business cards to level out my coffee table. It's just one of those things where the difference between making authentic connections or having a level coffee table, you got to choose. You have to choose. So either I can have a lopsided table or I can make connections. So that has to be some sort of level of authenticity when you're meeting somebody, and just grabbing business cards doesn't seem to do the trick.
Usually I have to say, if I take someone's business card at an in-person meeting, like I have at that moment in time, I can promise you I have the best intentions of actually calling you. So the reason why, if you're watching this online right now and you're like, but you never called me, the reason why is because I honestly just forget. I'm really bad with paperwork, like, and I lose stuff all the time. So I don't know. My one thing that I had to learn from effective networking was to not take business cards, to take WhatsApp numbers, because I know if you're in my phone, like I'm not misplacing I might misplace my phone, but I usually find it again. But I know if I actually take a business card, like I'm wasting someone's paper. It's just not happening.
I'm sorry, you mean I find it again?
Yes, Peter finds phones for me. I know the other thing so literally I never got anything out of networking at events other than Explore ProTech, probably because I haven't done that many other events. But I think it's really to do with putting in the hours to build an actual relationship. Like I have met some people where we've been like friends for 2 years, and it's taken us 2 years to kind of develop the kind of, trust and know and like that actually gets them to refer items. But then when they refer people,
It's quality.
It's like our Mancosa contract that we got was a referral. It was a massive referral, like a freaking giant referral, and that was from a 2-year, 3-year relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it pays off in like 3 months. Sometimes you bump into someone that like immediately needs you, but it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I almost feel like when somebody's introducing themselves in their business and they're like, "Hi, this is who I am and this is what I do, and here's my business card, call me." It's almost like they're expecting instant business, and to me, it just seems a little bit off. I don't just meet somebody and take their business card and do business. I want to do business with people that I know. I want to do business with people that I trust, and I want to do business with people in my space. I just like my space to have a lot of people in it. They all know me and I know them, and they know each other. And sometimes I will work with them and sometimes they will work with each other. And, in that kind of space, networking becomes authentic, because the value of the network is about the people in it.
I also have to say, like, I mean, I guess I don't really give referrals often, but when I do give referrals, it's usually to someone that I've worked with or that I've experienced, and then I think at the moment it is kind of often, because like I meet so many people that actually legit, like they need things, like they talk to me about what they need.
Well, they ask us, "How did you do that?" And our response is, "We didn't." Hendrik did.
That's most likely the answer.
We didn't do a thing.
Sasha did
it.
Oh, that graphic? No, I don't make graphics. That was Summerville.
How did you get so organized in this space? Oh no, we're still all over the place.
That was
Sondra. Yeah, so you know what? It for me, it pays off at the end of the day to make sure that the space has got the right people in it. And it's all well and good, and I see a lot of people do like amazing business deals, but they haven't actually taken the time to, through networking, actually build a relationship to a degree where they know that the business that they're stepping into is supported by the person they're stepping into business with. So I think that's really important. I know for a fact that if I want to create a podcast, like I don't need to think about where I'm going. I know I'm going to Hendrik.
Yeah, it's not even like a question.
It's not a question. It's I know what the results are going to be because I've seen the results in my own space and I've seen the results in other people's spaces. So it's not even a question anymore. It's just good business.
One thing that I will say that will guaranteed waste you so many different hours in networking is if you haven't taken the time to find your product market fit. So now you're unable to explain to anyone else why they should hire you. And it happens so freaking often. It happens so often where I'm like, you are the nicest person on this planet. Like, we've been becoming friends for 3 months now, but I still
don't know what you do.
Like, if I had to explain to, and the way you can taste it is, you can literally just go, can you explain to someone else what I do? What would you say? And then if they can't actually tell you, that's an indication that you haven't been clear enough on what you actually do. Like, you have to make it super simple. Like Mr. Super Sales Marlon always says, like, it needs to be like chimpanzee simple, like 3-year-old simple.
I mean, we had that trouble with somebody that joined our network, and they were doing multiple different things and kind of all over the place. And then they were like, why don't you refer me to anyone? And I was like, well, I would, but I'm still unsure of what it is that you actually do. Or I'm not too sure if you still do that. Or like, I'm not quite, and to do that kind of referral is kind of all over the place. So I think that clarity is key.
I think the other guaranteed way to waste a lot of hours networking is to have an offer that you haven't tested on the actual market. So you don't know if the market is keen for that type of offer. You don't know if it's the right price, the right fit, the right product, the right words. And the only way to find those things out is to actually talk to other human beings and be like, this is my offer. This is who I'm targeting. What do you think? And then people will tell you. They'll tell you, like, honestly, Nestene, like, I love you to bits, but no surfer is going to buy that. Like, it just is not surfer wear, or it's just, no, they don't need that.
A metal wetsuit.
So I think those are our like tips, like straight off the bat.
You can't swim in it, but you'll be safe from sharks.
But we really want to hear from the rest of you guys, because obviously you guys are like hardcore networkers. Like, I think by
anybody that can survive our space is a hardcore networker.
I think when Hendrik joined our space the first time, like, I think, are you now allergic to coffee, Hendrik, because you had so many coffees in that first week, in that first month? I think you went to bed and you were like, I will never have coffee again ever. This is just not worth it. So we really want to hear from you guys. So Hendrik, I saw you had your hand up. Are you happy to come into the conversation?
For sure. No, thanks for a very interesting topic, actually, and something that I've been in the trenches with. When you say about loads and loads and loads of, oh my goodness, and they shunt you from one breakout room to 2 minutes to the next breakout room, 2 minutes, and off you go and off you go. Oh my goodness, they can be hard work. They can take up a lot of your time, and then you actually don't get time to do your business. And I think when you start out, obviously you've got to go to as many of these as possible and just figure out who is out there, what their needs are, and how do you fit into all of that. That is, I think, an interesting sort of product of attending a lot of these things, kind of market research in the beginning. But you also have to be, and this is what we're doing at the moment, we're looking for very specific, let's call them not network groups, but stages. We need to be on certain platforms where our potential market, hang out. So it's you've got to attend a lot of these things to know which ones you actually have to go to in the end. So I think also one has to set aside a certain amount of time and go like, look, this is my marketing, my networking time. And whether that takes the form of a formal networking like we do here on Wednesday or once a month with Gossen, which I think is a great format, by the way, you could still leave space for those one-on-ones, those virtual coffees. I also schedule a specific amount of time in a week for that, because otherwise you end up just doing that. But you need to talk to people if you're going to sell, aren't you? And find the ones that have the need that you somehow satisfy. If you're not drawing them to you yet, you're going to go and have a good squiz around and see where they are and then target them. So selectivity would be a key factor eventually once you get into the network.
Hendrik, I think when you first joined us, we were at a certain stage where we had a certain amount of members, and it was like they all wanted to meet you at the same time. And there was just this, like, you were just inundated with, like, everybody wants to have a cup of coffee. I would shudder to think what happens when we are close to 450 members and people are joining us and everybody's like, oh, let's do a virtual coffee. Let's do a virtual coffee. I think it can become too much. There is a point where it becomes too much.
No, for sure. And therefore, you've got to limit the time for it. You've got to go, I've got 2 hours a week for that. I'm setting up my calendar for that. If you find the time, excellent. If not, it will,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that stepping into a networking space, if there's going to be relationship building taking place and you're going to be meeting people from that space, pace yourself. You don't have to meet everyone and do instant business like right off the bat.
Sure.
Take your time, build the relationships. If somebody really clicks that you've met and you really click and there's potential for something to happen, then maybe focus more on that than just trying to meet everyone. So take your time. It's not like it's a race to meet everybody. The whole point of meeting people is so that you can generate business with or for each other, and that everybody can benefit. But if you wear yourself out just meeting people, so many coffees, so many people to meet, so little time, I think you'll become disillusioned with what networking actually is. You'll just get so tired of it, it'll become a little bit pointless. So definitely, if you join a space where there's a lot of people and there's a lot of potential, just pace yourself. You don't have to meet everyone straight away.
I'm keen to find out, Hendrik, like how much time a week do you set aside for networking?
So we're in a sales phase. We've put quite a few things into perspective now, and the new website, and we're ready to do some business now, knowing what we know. So our networking is about going back to the people that we've seen before. But I would say I would put aside probably about an hour a day for that, at least. Perhaps 2, it depends on the day and the load shedding schedules, because one has to navigate all of that still, But yeah, usually our afternoons are open for that, between 2 and 4. So that's always a good time. So, whether we fill them or not is another question.
I like that.
Nice.
And do you just want to remind the people out there who you are, Hendrik? For those people that didn't. So guys, if you weren't at Gossen, Hendrik was our official Gossen sponsor. It was absolutely incredible.
And if you come to the next Gossen, you might see a bit of magic.
Oh, now everyone's going to be at the next Gossen. So, Hendrik, just remind us.
Hendrik from Baird Media. We've rephrased what we say. So we used to say we're the podcast people, but we're not saying maybe we're the podcast consultants. What do you think about that? Yeah, that's me. Find our new website, baird.media. Thank you.
Thank you, Hendrik. And it's so awesome, as always, to have you on the show. I just love hanging out. And I was even when in the intro video, you're in the intro video, right? You're on the balcony with everyone. It's so fun to hang out with you. Cool. Podcast consultants. I like it. What do you think?
I like people.
I like people too.
Yeah.
But consultant sounds so fancy. Like,
Consultants it describes it a bit more, but people just sound so.
but consultant does describe it. I don't know. I'm into, like, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you have to vote. Like, go to the comments and vote. Are we going with podcast people or are we going with podcast consultants? Go to the YouTube comments right now and vote. Hendrik will let you
I'll
know.
let you know.
We might have to do some A/B testing here and see which one works the best. Eh?
There's some market research
Yeah.
right there. That's how you do it, guys. Lesetja, let's bring you into the conversation. Have you thought about, when we are 500 of the most fun, authentic, caring entrepreneurs, how you're going to prioritize who gets to have coffee with you when?
If you come to me and say, here's so many dollars, yes, you'll have priority. It's about dollars. But Hendrik, I vote for podcast people. They're not consultants. Anyway, back to the topic of the day. When I joined ProTech, I can't even remember how many months ago it was. I wanted to meet everyone that was there. Like, we finished out, write down a list of everybody that was on the coffee shop show, whatever, and I would want to meet them. Ultimately, I realized it doesn't work because, one, I don't fully prepare for the meeting. It's like, I just want to meet this person because they said something interesting. So the value that I'll get out of that meeting would be like close to nothing. And I thought, well, do I really have to meet everybody? And the answer then became, no, you don't have to. If you know this person is doing something that they can help you with, then it's really vital to meet them. But not just meet somebody just to meet somebody because they were there, because they saw you there. And if that person wants to meet with you, then it means they see value in what you. Now I've got a little strategy, and I think someone might have mentioned it a few weeks ago. One, my listening skills have been sharpened. I don't just go into a meeting or go to network with a person and try and sell myself. It's about that person, not about me. If I, for an example, I'll narrow it down. I want a certain client to come and advertise. I know a little bit about the company, but not the person that I'm meeting. So I need to find out who this person is, what they do. So it's never about myself, it's about that person. If they want to spill everything about themselves, great, because then you know them better. If they just want to talk about the company and their position, great, you get to know about the company. Now you can actually now match your proposition, your unique value proposition to what the company is all about or what the person is all about. If a person is not in marketing, it doesn't help me to push selling adverts to that person. It will not help me. If they are in procurement, it won't help. But if the person is in marketing, then that's a relevant person. Then I need to find out more about that person, about the company and all that. So my listening, and less about me and more about them, has been sharpened. And I now connect to a lot of people on LinkedIn as well. The coffee meetings that I set with them, it's always about them. So what do? Oh, which company? Although I've seen it, you don't connect to a person just because you want to connect. You know what company they are all about. So they will then have to tell you more about the company, about themselves, and you are able to come in and start narrowing things down to, how about we have a formal meeting or something like that, or formal coffee? Then that pushes you in. Other than that, I think we'll be wasting a lot of time. And that's
yes.
me. As everybody heard, it's all about adverts, it's all about radio ads, as well as podcasting. That's why I believe in podcast people. Thank you.
Lesetja, something that you spoke about really strikes a chord, and you've just pretty much described every meeting I have. The one thing that everybody in this space will know about me is that I don't prepare for anything. I do not prepare for a meeting. If I'm meeting with somebody, I will only be as prepared as what information they tell me.
Peter, sorry, can I just jump in there? I'll always, especially when it's Facebook LinkedIn profile, I'll always look what it's there. But when I meet them, I say to them, you know, I just saw the name of your company and I didn't read the rest, although I read the rest. So I want them, and I say to them, it's best that you tell me than what I'm reading, because I may not read it right. So it's best that you explain it to me. So for me, you not preparing, I do prepare, but I go in as if I'm not prepared. And Peter, you do prepare.
In what way do I prepare?
You always, okay, maybe you come unprepared, but you always have got prepared answers in your mind. I don't know, but it always feels like I'll talk to Peter about, I'll book a coffee meeting with you, and you'll say, yeah, let's do it. When I go, you'll always ask me, what is it that we are talking about? I'll spill the beans, and then you've got 17 answers to my problem or to my issue, and you can't tell me you don't prepare. Nah.
Well, you know what the preparation process for me.
Lesetja caught you.
No, not at all. The preparation process for me is allowing somebody else to speak first, and then giving them the opportunity to speak. And as they're speaking, I'm solving the problems, and anything that they say will dictate how I respond.
Yeah.
So I will customize what I say to what it is that they're actually talking about. Because like you said earlier, Lesetja, it doesn't help that somebody comes along and they present their business, and then you've just got this prepared speech for afterwards, and it just does not line up with them at all. Yeah. So when I'm meeting somebody for the first time, so I've had meetings where I don't even know who this person is. I don't even know what they're arriving for. And they'll arrive and, oh, well, that's nice to meet you. Where did we meet? They'll be like, oh, no, we used on LinkedIn. Oh, yes. Okay, I remember. The name of your business is this. Oh, okay. Tell me more about that. I'm curious. As they start speaking about their space, I'm hearing, oh, their problem is this. I know a lot of people that have that problem. Oh, I actually happen to know the person that solves that problem. I'll put it into memory, and then they'll start talking about something else. And okay, I know. And as they're talking, by the time they're finished talking and they want to know a little bit more about me, I already have the answers and the solutions. So the answers may not be me.
Yeah, your prep is building up to know a lot of people for all these years, so that you are able to match issues to the person that's looking for help. So you prepared. You see, got you. No, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant, Peter. It's brilliant what you're doing. And I think the key, as you're saying it now, it's listening. Listen to the person. Let them talk to you about themselves. It just helps you to be able to guide them into where they want to go.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I really like what you said about narrowing it down to knowing who you need to be speaking to. So it doesn't always have to be an ideal client lookalike that you have the meeting with, but even like just knowing your ideal referral partner. Like, how many of you guys can right now tell me like your 5 best referral partners that those people know your types of clients that you're looking for? Like, it's difficult to find
Mm.
those categories, but when you do, it's like striking a gold mine, because then you know, like, as soon as I spot an attorney, I'm making friends, because attorneys have people that are clients that need bookkeepers. That is just how life works, okay? Like, if you're an accountant, you need to speak to attorneys. They're your best referral partners, like, on this planet.
Yeah, I think in a networking space where there are a lot of great people, and people are fantastic, you just have to give them the opportunity to be fantastic.
But
If-
our
if-
people
yeah.
are fantastic.
But if you feel like you need to meet everyone with no purpose, then it's going to be kind of pointless. You'll just have met everyone. I think when you're stepping into a networking space, figure out who are the strategic people that you need to be speaking to and building relationships with, and all the other fantastic people that you haven't met yet. Over time, you will just get to meet them, because they might be involved in this with you, or they might be involved in that with you, and you'll get to learn a little bit more. And as you get to learn a little bit more, it's like, oh, wait a second, I actually need to speak to this person, or we need to have a conversation. So do the strategic ones first, build those strategic connections, and then allow the rest to happen naturally. But don't just book copious amounts of coffees and copious amounts of meetings. You'll just wear yourself out.
Shasha! You just need to unmute, otherwise I'm playing charades.
Sorry. Hendrik, sorry, I'm also podcast people. I think it has a great sound. I really do. For me, networking has been consistency. It's been showing up as much as possible on the same networks. And part of that is because I'm introverted. And so it takes me longer to get comfortable in a space where I can then feed in of any value. But also it's just becoming that familiar face and that familiar person who's there every week. And I've really learned that a lot of benefit from networking for me has not necessarily been finding my clients or even finding a referral client, but having met people who have by choice chosen to feed into my business, into my life with value. People who've reached out with no, with not expecting anything in return. So people who've reached out for me, I'm not their ideal client. I'm not going to sign up with them. They know that. But they've seen something or they've heard something and they wanted to share it or they wanted to feed in. So for me, networking has been a lot more than just finding clients. I've really found people who've helped me build my business, learn how to run it better, and have just had people who've guided me along the way. And for me, that's just come from consistency, just continuously being there.
Yeah, I love that.
Look at Shasha reminding us what networking is all about, okay? And it's like, that's such a special moment.
Something that really sticks out for me is that generally when I meet somebody and I ask them, what kinds of people would you like to meet? Their instant reaction and instant thought is that I'm referring to their ideal client. And then they're trying to go, oh, I need to meet this particular, but it's not always about that. And I actually had it today when I was speaking to somebody and I said to them, so what kind of people are you looking to meet? As a solopreneur, you're on your own. There's so many different aspects to your business. You can't function them all. So within your business, what kind of people are you looking to meet? And the instant thought process was, what clients am I going to introduce them to? And when they started saying, oh, I'm looking for this, I was like, no, I'm not talking about clients. I'm not talking about clients. I'm talking about, there are so many different aspects to, I mean, like, do you do your own marketing? Do you do your own, what aspects of your business do you actually need to either learn about or meet somebody that knows about that? Or because often you can make an introduction to somebody that's not going to be an ideal client, but there's going to be a conversation involved which is going to teach them something about maybe how their marketing is done, or different aspects of their business. So when you say that you get to meet people that are not necessarily your ideal client, but are just there to plug in and just become part of your journey just as much as you become part of theirs. That's networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very, very special. And also very effective. So if you think right now, like your real friends, like how many real, like, you know, close friends do you have? Like 1, 2, 3, maybe. Some people are lucky, 10, 12. What would you do to help those friends? Like, would you drive to the shop and buy them a cake if they needed a cake to surprise their son? Would you, you know, bring them food if they, for some reason, weren't able to make food the night? Would you, like, buy balloons? Would you, if they started a business, would you purposefully look for the people that, you know, could become clients for their business just because they're your friend? And I think that's where a lot of networks are lacking, and what I also really like about Explore ProTech, because I'm not like an easy friend maker, Sasha. I'm such an introvert, but I've made so many friends, and I feel so lucky.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you're in a network that is all just business, it's just business. Here's my business card. This is what I do. Here's my business card. And then they wait for your call. It's only the power of a business card or a potential. When you're in a space where the people are building relationships, they're actually building relationships. Everybody knows who does what, and who's good at what, and who's the best in this, and you know who's the best in that. And it creates a space that's based on the relationships. I mean, if we look at Joanne Morehouse and her book, and even Hendrik and his book, when the book is written and you have those people around you where you go, I've just finished my book. You don't want to be surrounded by people that are going to go, here's my business card. You want to be surrounded by people that are going to be like, how can we be part of your journey? And when your book is written, how and when would you like us to share it? And the power of a space and the people in it. If you've built a community, but you haven't built it in a way that that one member of your community can be in a crisis. I've written a book. I don't know how to get it out there, and I don't know how to share it, and I need to be on the Amazon's bestseller list. And if the community around you goes, well, actually, us as the community, we need you to be on the Amazon's bestseller list because it's good for our community. Then for everybody in the community to go, we will share. So instead of the power of one person trying to share their book, it's now the power of an entire community. That's quite exponential, because I may have so many followers on YouTube, or may have so many followers on Facebook, or may have so many followers on TikTok, or may have, there may be there's different spaces. That's just one person. So if everybody starts sharing, let's round it off. If everybody has 5,000 followers on Facebook, and 40 people share it, 50 people share it, 60 people share it, 100 people share it, 100 people at 5,000 followers per person becomes extremely powerful, but it's driven by not one. It's driven by the power of many. When a community is supportive, so I mean, and I think that's the difference between spaces that are just business and spaces that are relationship driven. I think there's a huge difference where everybody wants to see Hendrik's book hit the bestseller list.
Yeah, because when it does, Hendrik does magic, and we like that.
So
that's real community.
Community driven is so much power. There is so much power in that.
Thank you so much, Sasha. That was such a beautiful moment. Just remind us what you do.
I'm an online business manager, and I work with service-based business owners.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Sasha. And it's amazing to have you here.
Sondra will know exactly what I'm talking about, because when we were speaking about Joanne Morehouse's book, she was like, I'm there. What am I going to share? Where am I sharing it? How am I sharing it? Who am I sharing it to? Can I ask other people to share? So
Sondra is such a community builder. and such a strategist and such an amazing friend. Sondra, do you want to come in on the conversation?
Thank you, Nestene, for those nice words. I agree with Sasha that I'm an introvert, so I like small community showing up consistently shows that one, you're willing to put that effort in. I've done the bigger networking events and I have a spreadsheet with a whole bunch of names on them, to be honest. And it's from like 3 months ago. Like I had somebody pour the chat into a spreadsheet and I had all intentions, like you, Nestene, to go back and interact with all these probably amazing people. But that is just not how I roll as an introvert. I'd rather have one-on-one conversations, but it's also energy draining. So I did for a while do like 7 to 10 coffee chats in a week on top of everything else. And I was like, this stinks. Like, I don't like this. I don't have the energy to do this. Then I didn't have any time to work on my business or my clients or anything else. I'm like, all I'm doing is networking, which is great. But I don't remember any of that getting me a client. Like, honestly, I don't remember getting a client out of doing any of that. I was doing the spreadsheet, keeping the numbers, and I was like, none of this is turning into a client. And all it's doing is giving me a headache and making me not want to turn my computer on. So I definitely think being tactful on preserving your time and, like Hendrik said, setting a set amount of time. Also with networking, I think, and this is something I definitely have to do better, is it's really in the follow-up. It's not just that initial meeting. It's that, hey, how did that project go? Or with Joanne, how did the book launch go? Like I had a conversation after the book launch, had a meeting. Yeah, I've met people and Explore ProTech, and I've definitely not met everybody. And like you said, Peter, it's not really about meeting everybody. It's about meeting people at the right time, showing up consistently, supporting each other. Sasha came to my workshop this month, supporting each other with the best way we can is definitely how I prefer to network. And right now, that's actually what's building my business, is supporting each other. It's not really about me going out and going, hey, come look at me, come join my stuff. It's about the one-on-one conversations. And when I do coffee chats, I always have the other person go first. Tell me about your business. What do you love about your business? Who do you want in your business? Because I tell my clients I will help them get things done, I do need resources and people in my network so that I can refer people to them. So I always tell people, like, I want to know who your ideal, like, I need you to know your ideal client and so much and so forth. And it's always a little bit more than what's on their website or whatever. Or, hey, I'm looking for this specific type of person. I'll be like, oh, wait, so-and-so just told me they're looking for that. So I definitely feel that is something that's really huge, is knowing what the referral partner is. And I always say, let's follow up in 3 months, because things do change. People do change directions. Life happens, including myself. So my goal is to do follow-ups every 90 days so that people, you just put each other back in your space of mind, because some of us do meet with lots of people and lots of different events. So the people that come back, those are the people that I remember more than the one I met. So
Yeah.
Okay. The power of community, I think, is huge. And I pretty much got most of my clients a community versus just cold coffee chat.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. Thank you so much, Sondra. Just remind us what you do again as well.
My name is Sondra. I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching, and I help you reach your goals by helping you get your things done.
Nice.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Yeah. I think that because we run a networking space, I mean, we reserve the right to be very biased. Our space is the best. But in reality, that's not necessarily true. So there are so many different individuals on the face of this planet. Everybody will fit into a different space. Every person's shape will have a shape to fit into. So my recommendation when it comes to networking is find where you fit. It's got to be a fit. Don't let people tell you, oh, this is the best networking. You have to do this type of networking in this particular way. That's not true. The reality is that every business is different. Every individual that runs that business is different. Some of them might be introvert, some of them might be extrovert, some of them might be like right in the middle. Go and experience spaces. Go and find out where you fit. And if somebody ever tells you you can only fit in one space, that's also not true. I think that networking is one of those things where you can build relationships in multiple spaces, but go and investigate it. Go and figure it out for yourself. Go and experience, but just don't get caught by the trap of pay now and experience later. Don't do that. If you step into a networking space and they tell you you have to pay, and then they tell you about the value they're going to give you, but you have no experience of whether or not that value actually works, then do yourself a favor and take a look at their retention rate. How do people stay in that network, or do they just turn people over? You want to do your homework first, but find yourself a space where the people that are around you are like-minded, as driven as you are. They might be at different levels in their business. Some of them might be like way up there, and some of them might be just starting out. If it's a space where everybody's way up there and you're just down here, you might not fit. But go and experience it. I think that's really important. I think people should know by the time that they've experienced your space whether or not they actually want to join it. They should know that I've had this experience, and now I know that if I am in this space, this and this and this not is going to happen, is already happening. So go and experience it. Go to multiple spaces. I mean, there's loads of networking groups up there. All of them have a different flavor. Find your fit. Find out where you belong.
What I will say as well, like Sondra and Shasha said, like that consistency is so key. And I've never seen anybody be as consistent as Sondra. I just have to say, if we had like the Explore ProTech Awards, like Sondra, you get the trophy.
We'll call it a viscosity award.
What the hell does that word even mean?
The consistency of liquid is its viscosity.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know it either.
You're smarter than me. How wouldn't you?
Who would have known? Who would have known?
But seriously, like you would get that consistency award, Sondra, and I think that is kind of like right now me and Sondra like talk like every day. That's just like
almost.
And I send her pictures of my paintings, and she sends me pictures of her puzzles, and it's just nice. But a lot of that relationship started with us basically just like showing up in each other's faces like for 6 months. Just like every week, every meeting, there's Sondra. Hi, Sondra. I'm Nestene. We're both introverts. But it's there's something to be said for just showing up consistently every week. Like pick your poison, pick your meeting that you go there every week, and you'll be surprised how comfortable, I think that's the word, how comfortable you start feeling with the people in that space. And if that space has 5 people in it, 10 people in it, 20 people in it, 30 people in it, that is a very effective strategy actually then for networking, because you're increasing your comfortability with a whole lot of people all at once. So like right now we've had this coffee shop conversation show and we've been chatting to each other. And there's like 5 of us. We should have had, if we wanted to do this one-on-one, it would have been 4 hours. But now it's been 1 hour. And the more we do that every single week, the more it builds like 4 relationships all in one. Yeah. But I think that also comes down to the space. Like it has to be a space where you can really like show up as yourself and where everyone gets a chance to talk, obviously. Otherwise, it's not really going to work. You're just going to sit there.
Yeah.
And not really build the relationship.
Oh, yeah. If you ever find a space where they just don't give you the opportunity to talk, don't go there.
So, Lesetja, you mentioned you have the 5 C's of networking. Do you want to share those with us?
Did I say I have them or we have to create them?
I thought you said you want to create them live on YouTube. Right there.
No. I mean, from what Shasha said about consistency, and then Sondra came back with community. I thought, okay, we're building up, eh? Let's have 5 C's, you know? And then my creative mind got in care into it. Because if you don't care about the community that you are in, there's no point in you going into a networking group.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where this comes from, but then there's also communication. As you were saying, Nestene, we are communicating. The 4 hours converged into 1. And we all had time to speak. And then the last one, we are collaborating, aren't we? You know, so it's. I think it's just what came now as we were chatting, and it's Sasha's fault. No, actually, Sondra's fault.
That was so awesome. Guys, like on YouTube, like while Lesetja's coming up with the 5th C, Sondra's feeding him notes in the background in the chat. That was epic.
That's how it's done.
That is how it's done.
Yeah.
I can feel you launching into one of your speeches, your 10-minute speeches.
Yeah. I have this thing. I have this thing. I cannot help it. I have this desire to destroy the way networking has been done for such a long time. I just think it's become so plastic.
Commercial, impersonal.
Not real.
It's interesting, commercial and impersonal it does work for some people. It just has never worked for me. I'm not able to make it work. Hendrik, do you have some insight in this this topic?
I just wanted to ask you, talking about impersonal, isn't that one of the drawbacks of being online, that it can just become something on a screen as opposed to going to a coffee shop and meeting people and sitting with them and interacting and, you know, this can become kind of anonymous and there we go, shut around because of the virtual nature of it, don't you think?
Yeah, I think there is a bit of a trap to it, and I think people get drawn into that trap. However, just because it's online, it doesn't mean that it has to be impersonal. Because we've built relationships. I mean, if you look at our relationship, Hendrik, we had a relationship before we ever met you in person, and we actually built that relationship online. But it's so easy to kind of not really build the relationship and just try and focus on business and not really get to know you and not. By the time we met in person, it was like, this is incredible. We're actually meeting in person. It wasn't just a business meeting, or it wasn't just there was a sense of we actually get to meet this person. We build a relationship with this person, and it almost just it was exciting to meet because there were actually a bunch of people at that event we'd never met before.
Yeah.
Somerville, we'd never met Somerville before in person.
It was insane meeting her in
person. It was incredible.
But like there is something, I think we should try and do a blend as well. So what we want is we need to have enough Explore ProTech members everywhere in the world so that each person at least has their 5 or 10 that you can meet up with for like an in-person coffee. So then we can do the virtual coffee because we want the global, our whole thing is breaking borders, right? Like business across borders. So we want the virtual, but we also want the in-person. So if we have those like 5 close friends, like 10 close friends, Hendrik, I think Hendrik is volunteering to start the Pretoria in-person meetup club for Explore ProTech. Hendrik, you're such a darling.
ESP, you see, that's another magical power I have is from this huge forehead. I can project ideas over space and time and penetrate your brain and influence you to do exactly what I want to do. It is a superpower.
Yeah.
And we have the venue, we've done it before, so, come on over.
I love it.
Do you know how amazing it was to have the GOSN event, and which is, for those of you that are on YouTube that don't know about the event, it's the Global Online Speed Networking event. We do it the last Thursday of every month.
Yeah.
And there were people from all around the world in that space. And then there were 2 people from Cape Town in that space. And we were like, whoa, you're in Cape Town too? Well, we're actually planning to get together as a group and go and do this, which has generally got nothing to do with business. When we meet up with our members, it's either we're going for a braai, or we're going to, what was it, the place we went to that had the wine tasting?
Wine farm.
The wine farm, or we're going to go and experience something, or one of our members is coming out from the States and we want to give them like a South African experience. But the ability to say to new people, like, hey, you're in Cape Town, we're in Cape Town, and we're doing this as a group. Why don't you just come and join us?
Come meet the group.
Come meet some people.
Come meet the family.
That was, for me, for the first time. And then also the experience of flying up to Johannesburg and arriving and seeing this whole group of people on that balcony waiting for us to arrive.
That was so special. It's like one of those standout moments in your life, Sondra, where are you based?
I'm in Michigan, United States, so Detroit, Michigan would be like the closest.
Guys, entrepreneurs from Michigan, we are coming for you. Can we please all as a group focus to find Sondra her 5 friends that she can hang out with every week? So Michigan, you think, Detroit, Michigan, we're coming for you. If you're an entrepreneur in Michigan, Detroit, we're going to be
Your
tasting
days
you.
are numbered. We're coming.
Lesetja, you had your hand up. Do you want to say something before we wrap up this show?
Yes, no, just one little thing about the impersonality of online meetings. I feel and I believe it had to happen. It had to be this way. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had these meetings. I wouldn't have ever known Sondra, let alone Nestene and Peter. But the second important thing is, or the build up from that is, try and make it a physical meeting. There are people, and especially now, salespeople that rely more on online meetings than physical, than driving out 10 kilometers to go and see a client. That's a no-no for me. I still love doing it the physical way. If I have to meet somebody for coffee around Pretoria or, well, in Gauteng, basically, I'd like to go and make it physical. But where it's impossible, yes, let it be online. That's what I wanted to share.
Got that.
Thank you, Lesetja.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so first Michigan, then the world, and we've discovered that Hendrik has superpowers. That is it for today's coffee shop show. You guys are absolutely incredible, and we thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy, for showing up, and for helping us connect entrepreneurs around the world. You guys are amazing. You're helping us make borderless business possible, and I will tell you, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do all of those in-person meetups when we all get our jets. So
Just saying.
Just stick around long enough, and we'll make that happen. We absolutely adore you. You must have the best day ever, and we'll see you next time. Hey, until then, may all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true.
Have fun.
Bye.